G'day Super Troopers. I'm here in Lebanon. Woo! How did that happen? That happened through the magic of camera. I'm in Beirut. This here is the Levantine Sea, and straight out there is Cyprus and Turkey and then Greece a little bit further that way. So here we are, sunny downtown Beirut. Again, I was not expecting to be here. I'm meant to be somewhere up in Eastern Europe by now, but I've got a little bit distracted, the Middle East. So let's go and check out what the heck Beirut's all about. This water is just absolutely crystal clear. You can see the bottom right out here. It's beautiful. The azure waters of the Levantine. I just learned that it's the Levantine, so I'm going to chuck that in a fair bit until I remember it. Levantine. Look at down here, there's all these little beach clubs. I don't know if they're just for swimming or... Oh, there's actually, yeah, there's a little like beach club thing down here. I've noticed them all along this coastline here. Oh, right over here as well. Woo! We might even find ourselves a little spot for a beer. There's a poor place here that looks all burnt out. Geez, they would have had a great view for some sunset drinks. So down here along the, I've just been walking the whole way around the coastline, and got little restaurants all the way around over here. This is pretty much where you want to be, is here, because the sunset's going to set there. And these pretty cool rocks here with this archway, this big tunnel through it, these are called pigeon rocks, which I feel like everywhere you go in the world, a rock sitting out like that is called pigeon rock. But anyway, I call them double doodad rocks because there are a couple of double doodads over here. So yeah, it's beautiful, crystal clear water. And I can see over here there's a lot of people swimming. That's a really lovely part of Beirut, down at the coastline here. I'm down at the Wharf Marina area, and my guess is that somewhere around here is where that incredible blast happened. And you got the city of Beirut here with flashy buildings. They've had all their glass fixed on all of those obviously, but there's a lot of cranes, a lot of construction going on. There's a lot of empty nothingness, and I'm guessing that's from the blast. Just must have wiped out a whole heap of whatever was going on in these zones here. So it's imagine for the people that were just on a regular day like today, just walking around, going about their business. There would have been tourists like me, maybe making videos, people taking photos, going for a jog, like these dudes. And then just one of the most incredible explosions ever caught on modern camera happened and just wiped out bloody everything. It's just, God, far out. But they've done pretty well to fix things. I mean, these are, you know, your Four Seasons hotel and stuff like that, so they've got a lot of money, a lot of capital to throw at getting it all fixed up. Brand spanking new again, but there's so many buildings all over here, which is where I was sort of walking earlier, that are just wiped out. They don't have the money to fix them. The entire Beirut, entire Lebanese financial banking system seems to be in collapse and free fall, and so it's a little bit surprising to actually see how many cranes and restoration work is going on these buildings, given I don't think that there's much of an economy to support that kind of works. But maybe the insurers pay it out. Oh, wouldn't that be like, no, that's a laugh, isn't it? There's empty wasteland down here by the marina. I'm guessing this is purely speculative, but I'm guessing that must be you know, just all wiped out from that blast. We are down at the Beirut Marina. Look at the lifestyles of the rich and the famous down here. This is the place to be seen. Down here at this little bay, you can very quickly forget that Lebanon is in a whole world of turmoil. Life is just going on as normal down here. People are having their coffees at the little cafes and things like that, so that's good to see. Everywhere you look, you see broken glass. Even on this side of the building, which wouldn't have been the side that copped the impact, it was on the other side, around over here. It's all just shattered. Everywhere you go around this town, everything's boarded up. Yeah, from the explosion. It's crazy. There's a lot of construction going on around the place, a lot of scaffolding. I guess there's been a lot of windows replaced in time since the blast, not the bomb, the blast. But I think it was pretty much down here is where the blast went off. Well, this looks like a great district to invest in. I'm guessing it'd be a bit windy given the marinas down there. Get it? So. Oh, the size of this mosque is massive. I mean, that's on around the same scale as Hagia Sophia in Istanbul or something. What a beast. So Beirut's got a really rich religious cultural diversity, which is really highlighted here with this giant big mosque, and just here right next door to it, this massive church. Not often you see those two side by side, but there they are. Peace. What in God's name is this thing? Like a giant, half a concrete sperm whale. Well, the whole back half of the sperm whale is gone. I'm guessing it was attached to a building here. It's a wacky old building. I don't know what that is. It looks like a giant bunker up in the sky. A little doorway just here to go in, but otherwise it's just a big concrete bowl. And here's some Roman ruins just here in the center of town. Kind of looks like a little bit of a rubbish dump, but you got these crazy Roman ruins just right here. This is the Beirut Grand Theatre. As you can see, the lower levels of it are all bricked up. It's got all glass in mortar on the top of it, stop anyone getting in there. So that's what theatre has come to in Beirut. I'm kind of in what I guess is the centre of Beirut. It's all these beautiful grand buildings, but it all looks, I mean, this one's clearly been abandoned for a long time. These all look abandoned and boarded up, and a lot, they got military guarding it, but you know, it's probably, there's a big clock tower in the middle. So I was just talking to the really nice military guard back there at the entrance. He saw me taking my little video, he said come on in, have a little look around. So he said this is downtown, this is the centre of Beirut. So it's a little bit odd. I think he's just sort of let me in where nobody's meant to be. But what a beautiful space that this would have been. That for whatever reason it's all deserted. It's a ghost town. I mean, for whatever reason, Beirut's had so many reasons recently, and in its past history. Oh God, they're having a bloody hard time here, aren't they? I guess these would have been people's apartments or offices or something. I mean, imagine this one, it would have been lined with cafes and people having coffees and wow. All right, here we are at the clock tower, the center of Beirut. It's a theater up there. You can see the sign here of a cafe restaurant, but it's not operating anymore. Well, there's a lot of military behind me, so I won't film that way. We've got the big mosque over here. There's a lot of Roman ruins around this town, so I'm going to try and find a bit more. Found a little bit up that way. But, such a interesting, odd place. these impressive buildings. Nobody in any of them. So straight down here is the marina, is the wharf region. So I'm guessing this has traditionally always been the main thoroughfare up into the centre of Beirut, which we're standing on the tree. There's a tour group behind me here. They're actually learning the real history. I'm making it up, but you know, you just got to go with it, don't you? 60% of the time it works every time. Right, I found them. They're just up from the centre of town there. These are the Roman bathhouses. There would have been water, I'm guessing. There would have been a floor on top of all these little doodads here. And yeah, it was just different rooms that you'd go through of different temperatures. Kind of like hammams, yeah, but these were Roman. And it's built into the rock face here. So here you go. I'm guessing these are probably like 1,500 to 2,000 years old, somewhere along that vicinity. But almost more interesting to me. Not that this isn't interesting. Good on you, Roman bathhouses. But up here on this hill, there's a church I can see where the actual clocks have been blown out from the blast. Haven't been repaired yet. Let's go. There's a lot of things that you in Beirut you can't get to. It's all barbed wire fence the whole way through here. It's a little bit like Baghdad. Anyway, you can't get closer to the church, but anyway, the church here's got all the clock, not the church, the clock tower has all the clocks busted out of it, blown out by the blast. I'm beginning to think more and more that I walk around here that a lot of these lower levels of the buildings everywhere around, all the lower levels are all boarded up, and I'm guessing it must be to prevent looting, maybe. I'm just throwing that out there, not saying you're a bunch of looters in Lebanon, but if that was from the blast, I'd expect it to be blown out up higher than down here. But everywhere you go, nearly every single building, all the lower levels are all fortified. This is such a beautiful little part of Beirut. I think it's the Mar Nicholas kind of suburb region of it, just off of Armenia Street, which is sort of one of the main streets down here for beer drinking. So we'll go check that out later. But there's some beautiful buildings here. This is a really old quarter of town. Love it. This is lovely. I'm pretty sure, and someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but this was governed by the French for a while. I'm wondering if that has something to do with this very French architecture going on here. Very European feeling. Alright, welcome to Armenia Street. This is kind of, I guess, what they would call the hedonistic party district of Beirut. Doesn't look like it right now. I'm at the beginning of it, further down this way. Yeah, lots of bars and clubs during the day, cafes and things like that. So yeah, this is pretty much where most of what's going on will be going on. Again, just look at these beautiful buildings. This one, I love that colour. You've done well, Captain Green. Oh, we've got a lavender one next door. Delicious. So you get these ones which look very European, and you get ones that look a bit older. I don't know, like they're all made of sandstone or something like that, I guess. Well, they look definitely from a whole different era than these chaps.